Well, it's the next day. I took these gooseneck barnacles home yesterday and washed them, put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in the bottom of the refrigerator, and wanted to get them cooked today before, they get less fresh. I'm separating them. I've seen where they don't separate them. This is the first time that I've ever tried gooseneck barnacles, so I'm kind of excited. Well, I'm kind of apprehensive, actually. So first thing I'm going to do is blanch them. I'll probably blanch them a little extra long here, and I probably will a little more salt than I would put in. But like I said, I want to clean them, and I put a little vinegar there because we have hard water, so I want to make sure these are good and clean. So I dumped them in, and I boiled these for about 5 minutes. I read where people do it for 3 minutes, and that would have been fine. Seafood is a great excuse to eat garlic butter sauce, and so here's how I make mine extra creamy and delicious. First thing I do is get the paper off the garlic, so I just crush it under my palm, and usually that'll make it come off easier. Sometimes it does, sometimes you gotta fight it, like in this case. And you gotta chop it up. Imagine most people would just use a nice garlic crusher for this, but I always end up not cleaning them right away, and then the next day it's all dried in there. It takes me forever, so I actually find that this takes less time. Just chop and mash for a little while. It takes a minute or so. So this is a small batch. Use 1/3 of a stick of butter. That's enough garlic for half a stick. I'd probably add another clove of garlic if I was going to do a whole stick of butter. Okay, we're going to make a garlic sauce, so it's time to get serious. Focus the mind. I don't start with butter. I start with a little corn oil, like corn oil. You could use olive oil, and we're going to christen the garlic. We just want to, if it was onions, we just want to cook them through, and we really don't want to overdo this at all. So I almost do this in real time. It takes about a minute. So let's just watch a little bit. That's a pinch of salt. So in a panic to get that spoon that I ran back over, I have to lift it up here because it's getting a little hot. I don't want it to burn at all. So I took it away from the heat. That's where I cut a little bit. I did that for about another 30 seconds, and then I'm just going to turn the heat off just like that. And now, this is where the big secret, in my opinion, comes in. We're going to put our butter in, and we're just going to let the pan melt it. Or hopefully it'll have enough residual heat to melt that butter, because we don't want to heat the butter. That's going to make it nice and creamy for our dip. Okay, this is a little bit of pepper, 1/4 of a teaspoon, and then also a little bit of paprika. Same thing, 1/4 of a teaspoon to taste. And then we're just going to go ahead and mix that in. I'll turn the heat on here just for a second to give it a little boost. And just going to let that stuff melt. We don't need to add any salt really to this because I've got salted butter, so that makes it nice and salty. And that's it. Once the butter is melted, we want to get it in our serving dish. A delicious garlic butter sauce, perfect for seafood, or dipping bread. It's going to be really good. And now that we finished this bowl of deliciousness, we can relax our mind again knowing we didn't burn the butter or the garlic. So I add a little corn oil and put up the heat a little bit, and we're going to fry up these gooseneck barnacles here. I just let them go for about 2 minutes on each side, put a little salt on the other side, and then put them on a little plate for eating. Don't forget that garlic sauce. And what's seafood without a little lemon? Or lemon lime, if there's a thing on my tree from the backyard, but they're delicious. I was wondering how easy this would be, but it was quite simple. Just outside skin twisted right off, and you add a little lime, and then you eat, most of that. The very top is a little bitter, but you can eat the whole thing. Won't hurt you, but the bottom part is what you eat. Those are really good. They're kind of tasty. I mean, they're chewy. Ooh. A little salty finish at the end. The garlic and butter sauce is very nice. That was 3 ums and a woo. That's the top of the Guy Fieri scale. Yeah, those were really quite tasty. Like they taste like a chewy clam. And I immediately started thinking, wow, I wish I'd have just picked the big ones. You can see I'm going right for the big ones, what I can get right now, because those are good. I understand why people really like them. Yeah, those are great. You like seafood? You like lobster or anything like that? You like clams? Those are really, they really do taste like clams. Damn good. The only thing I caught on the way out was this shot of a friendly squirrel who got to eat my homemade bread.